Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto, and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, we are joined by Refracted Curvature and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. How's it all going out there in YouTube land? All good?
Yes, Nathan, it's all good.
Well, that's good to hear. Glad I didn't have to do that voice myself. Okie dokie. Any evidence of the distance to the sun? Don't all go at once.
No, Nathan.
No distance to the sun measurements. Wow, shocking.
Radar.
What was that? Refracted?
I'm saying radar.
Radar needs a flat Earth.
What about the angle measurements you can take from shadows?
It needs a flat Earth too.
Hello.
Hello, Arwen. What have you been saying about Flatzoid? Have you been saying nasty things about him on your own show? You were moaning about him yesterday, and I dutifully listened. Would you agree? I listened. I didn't, obviously. I couldn't repeat back some of your moans in the pre-show. But now I'm getting loads of people in the comments saying, Arwen's disgusting behaviour, blah, 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 blah. What have you been saying?
I took it a little... Well, you could have just watched my show because I addressed it. But I got really angry. I called him white trash, and then I kind of pulled his kids into it, and I shouldn't have done that. But it was really originally meant as concern. It's like, yeah, if you hang around with trash, it's going to rub off on you. It's going to rub off on your kid. But
now
that was completely lost in the rage. So
let me get it straight. You went from, if you hang around with Globers, bearing in mind that back in the day, Bob Nodell used to moan because I had an open door policy and scumbags would come in, and my chat was just the pits. It's not like that anymore. But as a general observation, if you came to my show back in the day, you go, wow, there's a lot of scumbags in your chat. Why don't you ban them all? Was Bob's attitude. I'm like, well, if they do something wrong, they will get banned eventually. I'm watching my chat. At the time, I didn't even have any mods, so I was very, very intent on keeping my show under my control. And I didn't want any mods. Now I'm a bit less, concerned about moderators doing things that I don't like them to do. I just pop people that I trust and Bob's your uncle. But in this instance, you're saying, well, he hangs around with scum. Yeah, he does. He's debating this subject. The opponents are scum. But you've taken that to, therefore, his kids will be scum?
Like
what
that.
The hell are we?
No, not anti-flat earthers or scum. How dare you? No, dedicated, dirty troll channels that don't have arguments. They're just there to try to make things look nasty. That is what he hangs around. That's where he leaves complimentary comments.
Yeah, we got
not
all this
on
yesterday.
Anti-flat earthers. Like, who cares?
Hey, don't reiterate what you went through yesterday, as much as I've only just been reminded of what that was. But yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, we got all that on yesterday's show. But don't drag his kids into it. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. It was by accident.
By accident, my ass. You said it.
No, it was by accident. And I already explained that. I just now explained that to you right before this.
Okay, well, you're saying sorry to Flatzoid, I assume, so fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to get carried away.
Not that I've
Didn't
had
come
any
out
hand
right.
in getting that apology out of you in any way, shape, or form. You've obviously resigned yourself to that you need to apologise before I've even asked you about it. But good. I'm glad this has been cleared up before I've even had an opportunity to talk to you. Good.
Okay, fine. Well, I don't think I need to apologize except to my general audience because I slipped up. It's not like I'm sorry to Flatzoid.
Why not?
He didn't even give a shit.
Well, that's not the point.
Did you even see his stream yesterday? He was just joking around, making disgusting remarks, like who on purpose as a fucking joke. You
No
think I
swearing.
give a
Stop
shit?
swearing. Don't get all het up
Okay,
here.
well, I
right?
don't care about him.
Fine.
He is gross and disgusting, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I apologize to my audience for saying things that are like wrong, and I went too far because I got angry, and I'm sorry to them. I'm not sorry to Flatzoid. He's a scumbag.
No, he's not. He's just a bloke.
Yeah, he is.
Let's not get into this wrangle dangle. Right. I've got nothing against Flatzoid. I've got nothing against you. You two can fall out all you like. I'm not going to suddenly turn around and call Flatzoid scum or start slagging off his kids. There's no need for it.
Yeah, well, I won't slag off his kids, but I don't want to have anything to do with that guy. He hangs around
Fine.
trash.
Good. Good conclusion to draw. You don't like him? Keep well away. Good. Any scientific evidence of gravity? Now we've got that out of the way. Hello, Adam.
Well, they got the.
Afternoon,
sorry.
guys.
Yeah, refracted. My bad.
Well, they got the drop test vacuum chambers at 9.8 meters per second. You know, things fall to the ground.
Is that 9.8 meters per second in a vertical orientation? Down.
Yeah.
Perpendicular to the
edges
horizontal.
in the horizontal.
Perpendicular to the horizontal. So you're going to need a flat Earth for that.
Yes. Well, measuring it, of course, yes.
So I'm going to get Adam's take on this refracted, if you don't mind. There's a certain level of hostility, Adam. I'm not going to say hostility. That's too strong a word. There's an underlying tension that seems to be in the panel whenever you'll need a flat Earth for that gets brought up. Yesterday, I had to walk on eggshells around Brian to make very clear that we're not undermining him and we do respect his points, and, moreover, the relevance and significance of understanding and being able to argue the points like Brian does in the case of removing air from a vacuum chamber with gas go down, go boom, boom, inferring that it would increase the weight. If you've got gravity, it doesn't. That undoes their entire heliocentric system. He's correct. It needs to be stressed that his points understood, heard, and can be reiterated at nausea so the audience understands. But you will still need a flat Earth for it, right? But when we got to that point yesterday, Brian's attitude was, well, I already know that. Like, oh, well, now you're undermining us. Why the hostility, in your opinion, Adam, if you can talk?
I don't think it's hostility.
Wrong word.
I noticed it yesterday. I think me and Refracted were chatting, and he's on about this. He's got to summarize some claims for a debate. And one of the things he was saying was, well, I can get any of your claims and I can show you'll need a flat Earth for that. As I said to him, that's not really a claim. That's just showing your intellectual prowess that you can do people all ends up on this one point, because whatever the topic, through the number of years we've been here, we have an ability now to and flimsy as it might be sometimes, but to trace it back to mean you only need to make that claim. And whilst maybe it might be technically true, sometimes it can be the weaker argument. And you look at things like what Brian was saying, you've got a much stronger, more convincing argument if you go through what Brian says. Now, those that are already convinced, know what they're doing, understand all that argument in the background, might find fun and amusement saying to a baller, you're going to need a flat Earth for that.
I don't. Yeah? I fundamentally disagree with this sentiment, but carry on.
Yeah. So some might find it fun. I don't necessarily think as a block rebuttal it's useful unless you can then do the earlier part. Not for you necessarily, and not necessarily for the baller, but for the audience. I think unless they've got our knowledge, that sounds, what's all that about? Oh, okay, why? Yeah. Maybe even for the baller, or certainly for the baller, you can say that, but respectfully to them, they're not going to be as well versed on this as ballers aren't. So you're still going to have to explain why.
No,
so
I got that
would
too.
be my
I
position.
gleaned that from the objections is the wrong word also, but I gleaned that there's a concern that if you just put out the "you're going to need a flat Earth" that at the end of a statement, like, I don't know, an argument about weighing stuff in a vacuum, met with "you're going to need a flat Earth for that," it's going to seem whimsical, isn't it? It's going to seem offhand and almost non sequitur without any preamble to back it. So no, I do understand that, and I can see. I didn't get to do this yesterday, but I intended to, which was to talk about Spurs. Do you know the example I'm going with this straight away, Adam? If not, let me know and I'll yamber on.
No, yamber a minute.
Okay, so back in the day, we were all first getting trained at by Quantum Eraser on the scientific method, a la our 5th grade education. Then we had a similar situation where what's your independent variable was the metaphorical equivalent of "you're going to need a flat Earth for that."
Yeah.
And
it went silly, didn't it? And people are running around with independent variables, not knowing what an independent variable was for, and ended up looking daft. And you've warned against this the other day. I heard you saying it. It's no use saying that if you can't back it up, because you're going to get called on it. If you can do it here in a whimsical way, yeah, and a laugh, but if you do it in a debate, you've got to know the answer as to why you can lead that back to a flat Earth.
Yeah.
You can't just go.
As an example, a case in point, it happened only a few days back. So in last week's series of shows, I will trim this out when I get an opportunity. So rather than "you'll need a flat Earth for that" being put straight to the opponent, it's "are you aware that your assertion of boats going over a horizon requires the differential between eye level and surface level being flat in your geometric mathematics, to assert that boats go over a geometric horizon? Are you aware that you will require a flat Earth for that?" It's a very nicely packaged up way of illustrating to not only the opponent but the audience why a claim of boats going over a horizon needs a flat Earth for that. But by contrast, man says, "Well, boats go over the horizon, globe Earth proven. You're going to need a flat Earth for that." Everybody in the audience is scratching their head going, why? That doesn't make any sense. But phrased as a question to the opponent in regards to how his maths works that needs a flat Earth, and specifically detailing the aspect that is a flat Earth, that would be surface level in globe Earth mathematics, which is flat. You've got a flat surface level. Were you aware of that? It's better than "you're going to need a flat Earth for that," with no context.
Right, you're gonna need to go through the theoretical exam to enter Route 90.
Which you can do. You tend to stand in opposition to us. You piss everybody off at the moment, Arwin, by the way. I'm speaking on their behalf. No one said this to me. Let's rephrase that. You annoy me when you do this at the moment, when we're trying to get through this particular example, when it's new, and you're like, "Nah, because I can bend a curve and get an angle from a curve." You're like, wait a month or two. Bloody hell. Be Baldwin when everyone understands it. When everyone's got it, and concisely arguing the point, and then saying you'll need a flat Earth for that, then you can do your Baldwin thing and say, "No, I can get an angle from a curve," because you're ahead of the game with the gag, if you know what I mean, Arwin.
Yeah, but if I do it late, then there's no point. It's not funny anymore.
Not irritating anymore. It's not that it's not funny if you do it later.
It's not funny anymore.
Not funny for you if you find amusement in annoying people who are trying to educate others. 91 watching, please share the show.
But it is educational when I do it. It's as close to a real world example as you could ever get on your live show, besides having an actual baller on.
Granted, what you do will I have to often disclaim this with panel members. No, I'm not disagreeing with you because I want you to feel that I actually disagree. I want you to reiterate your point, and you do that in an extreme way with Baldwin because you're doing it in a way that a new member of the audience may not realise that you're disagreeing to eke out a better explanation or a better argument style from somebody who's got somebody to be in opposition to. I get what you do. You do it very well. However, when there's early days or early doors for people who may not understand it in the audience, a Baldwin doesn't go over in my view. Just my opinion.
Okay.
Anyway, you will need a flat earth for that,
There's a
Adam.
time and
I
a
think
place.
is fundamentally important. If you can always tie back every globe earth claim with, that's notwithstanding, and what you described as a better argument in quotes, right? There might be a better argument in the moment. There's an example yesterday with Craig and Caleb, or whatever you say his name, where Brian's example would have slotted in perfectly, wouldn't it? It was absolutely ideally custom made for the circumstance we were covering yesterday. So I'm not going to say, no. You just go straight to you're going to need a flat earth for that and point out how you'll need a flat earth for that. No, annihilate their claim, point out in that example how gas does not go down, go boom, boom when Fight the Flat Earth says there's I can't remember how he phrased it, but essentially a force of down pulling the gas. I can't remember how he put that. But gas go down, go boom, boom is what he's basically saying. Brian's got an argument that can tie him down to an example that annihilates him. But it would be better topped off with what we started this whole discussion with between John and myself, when you're talking about a horizontal plane of reference to assert the 9.8 meters per second in the downward vector. That's the vertical orientation perpendicular to the horizontal.
You see, no, not for me. So I would use the proper arguments, and then what you've got there and what John's doing, it's the thumb screws, yeah. So once I've done the argument, then I can go and we can have even more fun, can't we, Rufy? As we look at what's on screen right now, every single measurement you're taking, after I've already destroyed it, I'm then going to show the measurements you use are obtained from flat surfaces. Yeah. It's a secondary. That's playing with your food.
I don't see it that way. I just fundamentally, that's the bit I disagree with. See, to me, if you've come to the flat earth debate or you've come to flat earth and you're scratching your head about anything and you can hand somebody, we need to package this up in a way that people understand all roads lead to a flat earth. Rather than the way it's been tailored seems objectionable, and frankly, I don't care why. I know this is the strongest point we've ever had on the show, and if it needs repackaging, I'm happy that we're having this conversation. I said it in the pre-show. I'd be happy if... Go on. Sorry.
It's not objectionable. Don't get me wrong there. I'm saying it's not the route I would take as my primary route. It's something I'd use to drill the point home. Once I've made my point, I'm then going to batter you with Celestial and show you every single bit of measurement, all your orbits, all the little things that they'll then throw in. I'm then just going to kindly demonstrate how they're measured from a flat plane. But they're the nails in the coffin, see what I mean? Not my fundamental point. And that's the difference, I think.
Okay, well, before John goes... fine. The question before John goes is, how do we turn thumb screws into a sharp blade? Go ahead, John.
You can't, because you'll need a flat earth for that as a conclusion to this topic. It's not an argument. It's a conclusion. It can't be placed in an argument because you can't make an argument once you understand that for a globe.
That's why I want it as a weapon. That's why I want it as a starting point. That's precisely why I want it as a starting point and not as a conclusion. It is the conclusion. I'm not going to disagree with you in the slightest. But I'm a lazy man. You ever seen Hollow Man?
Oh, no. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like you walked up to a guy, he's holding a dog in his hand, telling you dogs don't exist while he pets his dog.
Yes.
Now, are you going to argue about the mechanics of barking with him, or are you just going to point at his dog and say, that's a dog?
That's my point. If somebody's coming
Now,
up to me and arguing
yes,
orbital
that is the
motion with a
point.
flat Earth, why wouldn't I just say you're using a flat Earth? It makes much more sense, doesn't it?
To me, it does. Adam seems to have a different opinion about that.
It does.
I don't know.
But you said it. You're going to need a flat Earth for that. Why? I've still got to go there.
Not
and
if
I'm
they've
still
gone
gonna
there
have
for
to
you. He's holding a dog.
Forget the dog. Just stick with a baller. Yeah.
All right, make the claim.
Well, it depends on the claim.
Votes
So if we
Grover.
are talking celestial navigation, it's very easy to get there quickly. There's lots of ways to state the flatness, the requisite of flatness needed.
Don't mention the easy one. Mention the hard one. The hard one, the one that you don't think.
Well, go on then, pick one. That's probably harder to get there. Gas pressure is probably the hardest.
There you
to
go.
get there.
There's a
It's not-
gradiated gas pressure, exemplifying the fact that we can have sky vacuum-based orbital mechanics.
Yeah. I see, and that's probably the best one. I don't want to go to a flat Earth to prove my point. I want to destroy them in their paradigm. So maybe it's my ego and not necessarily expediency that's wanting me to go that way.
That's what I put it down to. Brian wanted to flex.
Right,
But I didn't
but-
want to undermine that.
Right, but
I've
real
got to go
quickly,
there for that
you
one,
could
though,
point
haven't I?
out.
Hold on, we're all keen.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
you
John.
can.
Go on.
You can, because the gas pressure gradient is calculated from sea level.
Yeah, that's what I see. Right. So this is a good one. Now, in a baller's mind, I don't care. Sea level's equidistance from the center of a ball, and I can calculate that. So you've not convinced me.
Whoa! I've got to stop you. Go ahead, John. Let's just knock that on the head straight away.
It absolutely is not. You're denying Earth curve calculations when you say that sea level is equidistant from the center of a ball. That's false.
Oh, it's
You
true.
made a
in my
false
world.
statement.
Yeah, but it's true to me.
No, it's not.
It's true, and now you're going to have to demonstrate.
No, John, you're not hearing between the lines. Just repeat what you said again, Adam.
It's true in my world. It's fact. That this is an axiom in my So if you're going to challenge that, you've now got to start at the beginning.
He's right.
You can't just go to me. It's too.
I'm going to reiterate your point, Adam. You're right, and this was Brian's point, isn't it? Yeah, but when you're dealing with someone in their world, they've got bendizontal, and you're like, well, it isn't. This is the problem. We've got a very big disconnect between how we argue with people who have gone through a process and have drawn illogical conclusions as a result that are deep-seated and will be verbalized. Like, it's easy enough for us to go through it with Craig when we're like, science doesn't prove anything, here's my science. Seems stupid to you, audience? Obvious to us. Hopefully it's obvious to you. If it isn't, science doesn't prove things, here's my science to prove things. We'll just go through it again until you do understand how stupid it is. Now with this, they're using a flat Earth. Why not go straight to it?
You did. You started with sea level, and at this point, I won't. As a baller, I don't want the conversation to move forwards. I've got my Craig head on my Boeing. I will now argue equidistance 10, 15 minutes.
You're not being a baller, though.
I'm not being a baller. What I'm saying is, but that's what I'm preparing myself for now. I'm going to have to move around that, and demonstrate that sea levels now
No,
are level.
no, that's fine, Adam. You don't have to justify it. It's John's ball in his court, or mine. I don't mind either way. But how do you cope with that?
Right, but the moment you assert that sea level is not a horizontal plane, you're outside of everything. You don't have orbital mechanics. You don't have celestial navigation. You don't have Earth curve calculators. You're done.
I agree. And I know
It is
every single
officially
reason
over
why.
at that point.
I agree, and I know every single reason why, but you have not outlined to me why I can't have orbital mechanics, why I can't have this. I just go, what are you on about, Flurfer? You keep saying I can't have these things. Demonstrate why. It's all right, you saying to me, You need a flat Earth for that. You've not told me why. You've just told me now I can't have this, that, and the other, when all we were talking about was sea level, which is equidistant of the Earth.
Because they all refer to a plane of reference.
No, they don't. They refer. I can give you a citation from Google.
You've asked him how he takes you there. He's taking you there.
He just said they all refer to a flat plane. I said, and I'm saying no, objection. They refer to the distance from the center of the Earth. I can cite that from Google, can't I? What sea level is in a baller's world, and I can get an acceptable citation. So no, I disagree that sea level is that definition. I can get a definition of sea level which says it's equidistant from the center of the Earth.
Yeah, you're going on that citation where the one definition faulty and rolling on it where all other definitions contradict it, right?
Your definition's wrong. Yeah, you flurfer. You would be, wouldn't I? I'll provide you a definition and now it's wrong.
Right. Well, then let's go to the Earth curve calculator and let's bring it up. You're saying that level is curving. Let's look in your Earth curve calculator.
Fantastic. So we've got
this curving level.
That's good. That's just, I've got to point that out to the audience. What's just happened? That was good spin, John. So what he's done is he's saying, okay, well, let's put your center of the Earth radial value from Wikipedia into practical application then. Right. Good move, John. Go ahead, Adam. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I'm happy because why else would you need an Earth curve calculator if you're not calculating Earth curve? So yeah, let's go calculate Earth curve.
Boom. Right, you've lost, Adam. This is
all right, surface level.
I know.
Yep, it's over.
I know. Keep going then.
It's surface level. It needs reiterating. We're at the early stage of thrashing this out, and Adam sounds like he's coming on side. Right, surface level. Yeah, let's not just nod away to it. Let's point it out to the audience. Why surface level? What do you mean, John? Surface level.
What do you mean? No, we're calculating Earth curve. What are you on about? No, it's Earth curve calculator, not an Earth surface calculator.
Level.
No, it's an Earth curve calculator. No, it's an Earth curve.
No, we don't need the rumpusing to go along. Adam. He just needs to get the actual rebuttal, which does annihilate this point, through to the audience once without you parroting that it's an Earth curve calculator. We know what's on the title of the book, but in the book, go ahead, John.
Oh, so in the book, not the calculator anymore.
Surface level is the horizontal plane. Surface level is a horizontal plane. What are you talking about?
Not in an Earth curve calculator.
Yes,
Let's go to Metapunk. There's no.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
No, there isn't. Not on an Earth curve calculator, there isn't.
Yes, there is. Let's go to it. Bring it up.
It's a trigonometric curve calculator. There is no flat planes in the Earth curve calculator.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, there is. High level and surface level.
No, there isn't.
No. It's getting ready to pass up here in a second.
Hold on, Adam, have you actually got something to refute this with? Go ahead.
Yeah, because I disagree here. No, there isn't in an Earth curve calculator. If you're going to use the Earth curve calculator, all you do is calculate curvature. If we're going to do other things, we may invoke horizontal planes, but not on an Earth curve calculator. There is no horizontal plane. All it does is calculate distance and apply the curvature. That's all that does.
No, it's got surface level as a horizontal plane. You said it wasn't.
I'll take you through the derivation of an Earth curve calculator.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me pull up my derivation, which is the same as Metabunk's. Yeah. So my Earth curve calculator only has two inputs. It's distance. Yeah. And the secondary input is an assumption of R. From that, you can calculate the amount of curve over any distance. There is no requisite. There is no plane in the Earth curve calculator.
Where to get the drop rate? The drop rate's really
No. Earth curve calculator, not a drop. Nothing to do with drop. That's a separate function where you will invoke flat planes. Drop. Earth curve calculator doesn't.
You following what he's talking about?
I've just won.
No. Yes, stop. Everyone stop. At this point, you've won because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. And I do. And I know I've won.
Okay, so you've got... Stop. You're getting credit.
No, you're getting credit. He's making baseless assertions. He hasn't demonstrated a thing yet.
I know he hasn't. I realise he hasn't shown us yet However, I also appreciate that Adam's a mathematician. Therefore, I don't understand what he means. Doesn't mean I can challenge him at this point because I know my own ignorance level. So I've just got to put my hands in the air and go, it seems like he's won, even though he hasn't presented anything.
Yeah, but I got him, and I still know I got him, and he still knows that I got him.
Well,
He's
let's
just
hear it.
waiting
Adam keeps
and-
rumpusing you, though. Hello. Adam keeps rumpusing you. Go ahead.
No, he's not. He's not. I'm not. I'm being genuine now. I've won. Okay. And I want to go through it. So let's not argue, but let's just go through it. Now, I can pull up my derivation, can't I, that I did nearly 10 years.
Yes, I know what you're referring to. Your maths is Earth curve maths, but you've done it from scratch. I know what you're talking about.
I've done it from scratch, and it's exactly the same as Metabunks. Now, they put refracted bits and bobs in, but the fundamental Earth curve calculator.
Demonstrate it.
I'm going to...
John, just let him get to the end. Oh, we're all very excited. This is good stuff.
I'm trying to talk and look up my presentation. So let me just look up the presentation, and I'll pull it up. So.
Yeah, this is going back
Yeah,
a while.
I know.
Right?
I've seen your presentation, Adam. That's why I'm asking you to demonstrate it.
Well, fine. While Adam's looking up his presentation, perhaps we can hear a few comments from John uninterrupted. We'll see how he gets on.
Right. There's a... see, because it's a geometric calculator, you're going to have to display the geometry next to it. And you're either going to have eye level or surface level. And they're going to be there. You may not have labeled them.
Oh, no, they're not there, John.
But they're there.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I've got a question for you, Adam. Is the R value already in your mathematics?
Yeah, of course.
Ah, there we go. Man, I just needed to rewind my mindset to 2015, didn't I, Adam? Bastard.
I'm not finished. No,
Not finished?
I think you think you're there.
Where'd you get the R value? Not finished.
You're not there.
Where'd you get the R value?
What is assumed? I got it. I tell you where I got it from. I got it from. Oh no, I can't get it from there. Bugger.
Yeah, anywhere you try and get it from, you'll need a flat plane for.
I know. You know what I nearly said?
I'm going to shut Adam down. Stop. The only way that could stop.
I nearly said
Stop.
flat Earth angles to Polaris.
No, let's not go to the. Let's not do that. The only way this works. How did Adam win for about 5 seconds? If you start. Oh, no, we're going to get this sentence out because Adam wants to win now. He's on the maths for the ball. He's got his mind set to win. Fine. He only won for a few seconds because he got away with begging the question of R without us noticing. So he can start with an assumption of Earth being a sphere and say that it's a sphere-Earth calculation when he's already got an R value that's not got any justification measurement. And if you ask him where he got it, he'll need a flat Earth for it. But at the point that he swindled us with an assumption of R that we haven't asked him about, because it's not 2015 anymore, he's won. We just didn't realise. He just used Nick. He just became Mick West, didn't you?
Yeah. You beat me. I'll concede there. Well done. Well done. It was the R that was the only way out of that because I genuinely refracted, yeah. There is no plane. The only way is how Nathan got me with the R.
Right. You're drawing tangent lines, aren't you?
No.
It's worse than that, John. He's just starting with the sphere. He's just begging the question, flat out begging the question. He just starts with the sphere, doesn't he?
Yeah. I've already assumed it.
Right, but how do you get an Earth curve with that tangent?
You missed it again, John. Stop. John, you've missed it again. You're saying, where'd you get these things that are ancillary to the globe he's already got? He's already assumed he doesn't need anything. He's already won.
Told you.
No, the calculation will still have surface and eye level in it.
No, John.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't need it. It just needs R.
This is the important bit. The point of nuance that I was making wasn't anything to do with dip. It wasn't to do with hidden. It wasn't to do with observer. Those you're going to start to invoke tangents and all sorts. My point of being a smart arse, and I was very confident until Nathan did me, was Earth curve calculator. All it does is work out a proportion of a ball. That's all that does. A pre-assumed ball. That's when. So I couldn't lose until Nathan got me on the R. Then I'm done because I had to find the R, and that's where I nearly slipped and said, angles to Polaris, because you've got to pull the R from somewhere. Now that comes from a flat plane, right? But that initial point, genuinely, I'm not being a git, there was no way out of that bit, because I wasn't invoking in that single bit mathematically. There was no invocation of a flat plane. There wasn't a plane anywhere. It was only just a curve, and I was only dealing with a curve. So I could have argued forever there until Nathan got me on what is.
Well,
let's say John's response, and I've got something to add to this. Hold on a second, Adam. Go ahead, John.
the Earth curve calculator is getting ready to pop up here in just a second. Now, when surface level is shown to be a horizontal plane, will you concede at that point?
I've got no need for surface level at this point with an Earth.
Let me have a go. Let me have a go, Adam, because he's. Everyone, stop! John and Adam, stop a second, please. Forget the Earth curve mathematics that you're going to bring up on screen for a second. If I just draw a circle and then draw a radius line and mark it with R, and then next to it I write down 3959 miles, and then at the top of the page I write the word Earth. You with me so far, John?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
At that point, nothing is required because I've already won, haven't I?
If you draw a circle and draw a radius line and say 3959, what is your calculation in that?
There isn't one, but I have still got a sphere with radius that.
No.
I mean, no.
He hasn't got an Earth curve calculator. He's lied to us.
No. I can base all calculations off that circle with R and a little tab with an asterisk that says miles 3959, and the title of it is Earth. From that point, I can do any calculation you like. No flat surface will be required. I mean, I might add flat surfaces to do certain functions after the fact that you could hold me to task on. But there's my ball. It's 3959 miles in radius. What are you going to do about it? I've already won.
No, that's not a calculator. That's you drawing a circle and putting a line through it and saying 3959. That's not a calculation. That's not even a measurement. You're drawing a circle and put a line in it.
I get that. So, but if I take that presupposed, already in existence, ball radius 3959 on my page labelled Earth, and use mathematics alongside it that will work and can have no flat plane references, Adam's got one. He went through it with us about 5 minutes ago. So long as he's got an assumed radius to begin with, he's Mick West. That's all he needs.
No, hold on. No, even in Mick West's curve calculator, there is still eye level as a horizontal plane and surface level as a horizontal plane.
No,
it's still there.
No, that's not a curve calculator. That's a what you can see calculator, which does invoke the eye level. This is a curve calculator. Okay, and I'll show you here. Look, this is what it does. Given R, I will derive. I won't bore people to death with it. All I do is go through and derive the formula that Mick West used. This is the way they do it. So when you work it out,
that's not an Earth curve calculator. Right, that's a curve calculator.
Excuse me, John. Sorry to interrupt. Adam, on the front of this book, it does say Earth curve calculator, does it not?
Curve calculator, because I was a flat earther at this point.
Done.
Yeah.
Jobs are good.
The Earth. There you go.
So the level of evidence is whether he puts the word Earth in front of it.
No.
Stop, everyone, stop. Let's slow this down. This is gold. Yes, John, that's correct. Your differential eye level to surface level calculation based on a flat plane measurement just needs the words Earth curve calculator putting on the title, and it will dupe bazillion people. That's right. Yeah, that's all it needs. That's correct. Yes. And that's all Adams needs
Right, now
also.
back to the initial point. Back to the initial point. If the Earth curve calculator is using sea level as a horizontal plane, then I win the point because all atmospheric gradient is determined from sea level.
Yes, you would be correct if an Earth curve calculator was doing that, but it isn't. So you're not. Now, what you are doing
this curve calculator that you're showing, this curve calculator is not an Earth curve calculator,
yes,
though.
it is.
You
Yes,
are
it is.
misrepresenting the mathematics, and that is a very devious thing to do.
Yes, he is.
I'm a baller.
He's a baller. I was just about to took the words out of my mouth. Yes, that's exactly what's happening here. Glad your irritation and disdain is as high as it is, John. That's exactly what's happening here.
And I'm not being deceptive either. Look what I've written on screen. I am being truthful and honest. I am telling
you are not using the Earth curve calculator. You're using your own mathematics that are false.
Right, can I have a minute of uninterrupted? I am telling you the truth. At the beginning, I tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm telling you how to do it. What's the first statement I make to you?
It's an Earth curve.
To assume
you said you have an Earth curve calculator, not a curve.
Yeah, John, you ruined. John, please, you're ruining this, right? Because the penny hasn't dropped for you, but it will.
Please note the first thing you have to do when creating an Earth curve calculator, making an Earth curve calculator. Well, step one, assume the Earth is a ball of radius 6371. Now let's go to step two. Don't focus on step one. Let's focus on steps 2, 3, and 4, and 5 with all the beautiful trigonometry in it.
Stop. You had a number of degrees. Could you go back to that?
No, go back to point one. What am I asking you to do? So to use an Earth curve calculator so that you've already lost.
Okay, both of you, can you both just let me make this final point? Okay, Adam. Glad the tables are now about to turn back on you. Frustration can be in your court again. So what you're saying is, at this stage of the debate, when the title of the book is making an Earth curve calculator, would it not be more pertinent to point out how this Earth curve calculator could be put into practical application and would require a measurement of a flat plane to do it with eye level or surface level? Because beyond your musings of the begging the question when it's really obvious in this 10-year-old presentation or however old it is, you still will need a flat plane to put any practical derivation to your calculation, even though it hasn't got it at this stage.
Oh, yeah.
Moreover...
Nobody asked me that at the start. You said that wasn't... I'm so happy as a baller because I've been able to argue for 15 minutes about something that I'm going to lose in the long run, but on this fine nuance, I can argue and continue. This is exactly...
You've been able to be deceptive for 15 minutes.
Yes, that's correct.
It doesn't matter because I can keep going and making the point to the audience. I can show slides. I can show things where there's no flat planes. And this is the point I make. You've got to pick your argument right to drop that one in. On this particular point, we picked one.
You didn't even calculator at all.
Let me finish. That even as a flat earther, I'm feeling actually I would not like this argument because, and I'm not being a dick, mate. Fundamentally, the point I made, I stand by. There isn't a flat plane here. Nathan's added just before I interrupted here. Yes, to move forward, to do anything with this, I'm going to have to invoke the flat planes that you're going to. But at this point, as an honest statement, I can rebut you, is what I'm saying. You've jumped into
No, you can't. You said this is an Earth curve calculator. You are lying at that point. You are at that point. You have become a liar.
Okay, so explain to the audience what the nuance is of my lie, because that's important. Because that now is what you've got to get over to the audience. What is the subtle nuance of my lie? Why am I lying?
Because you're showing a curve calculator, not an Earth curve calculator. That makes you lying.
That makes no sense to the audience. Explain it.
Excuse me?
He's leading you somewhere, John. He's leading you.
What's the difference then? You, instead of saying Earth curve calculator for the Earth, explain that, because I don't know that difference. You've made a distinguishment
Because you're showing something that's not the Earth curve calculator. You're showing a curve calculation you've done. This is not the Earth curve calculator. Why are you showing this? You're wasting everyone's time.
What do you mean this is not an Earth curve calculator? Yes, it is.
There is the Earth curve calculator.
Do you mean Mick West?
Not
Does Mick West get the title the?
You don't have anything tied to Earth in it.
I do.
This is not the Earth curve calculator.
It's got something very specific. That's the point. It's got something very specific. They're all based on the same measurements. Mick West's, Metabunks, I've forgotten all the names of the calculators now. All the various different Earth curve calculators. Walter Bislin's, they've all got the same basic calculation at their heart. And so is Adams. It might not be the same website, but this is no different.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Because they all tied their calculations back to the Earth you're standing on.
No,
Adam is not doing
you
that.
see, this is the trouble with newbies. Yeah? You've come in after Mick's made adjustments to his website. This is exactly correct on Mick's first one. Then he puts in other stuff, hiddens. Then he puts in refracted hiddens. But the first phase one, the first initial Earth curve calculator, uses the same formulation in the programming of the web page as what I derived. Now, I derived it first, and then I found out, and it's the same numbers in the calculation. So whilst it may look slightly different, as Nathan says, fundamentally at the heart of the trigonometry that we're using, yeah, it is exactly the same as Mick West's.
Let's go through this.
Because we use fundamentally
How many degrees have I moved in 1 kilometer? How many degrees have I moved in 1 kilometer of travel?
It says here, this is the calculation.
No. Where'd you get the degrees from, Adam?
Oh.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It's right there. It's right there.
Is it on screen?
No.
I'll read it out. I'll read it out.
How did you measure the number of degrees, Adam?
It's a calculator. I didn't do any measuring in this derivation.
So it doesn't have anything to do with reality.
Yeah. I took the radius value of Earth and used that in my derivation. But this is a derivation. It's not a calculation.
It's saying how many degrees have I moved in 1 kilometer of travel?
Yeah.
So it's across the surface, correct?
Hold on. This is very unfair. You're saying that he must now do a calculation that will force him to invoke a flat plane off his sphere that has no flat planes. That's unreasonable.
It's going to be on a curved surface.
Why is that unreasonable?
Because he's not got any flat surfaces to derive these angles. I mean, he can derive them mathematically. He's just told you that, but he'll need to derive them from the R value in his maths. He's already got that.
He can't derive them mathematically either because he has no point of reference.
He does. He's got
the North Pole.
He's got R. He's got the radial value of Earth. He's already got that. He got that set in stone. It's right there.
From the North Pole to the equator is 90 degrees.
The equator? Yeah, okay. That's great. Off a flat plane.
No, on a ball. It's 90 degrees.
No, not on a ball. Not on a ball, it's not.
Look, I'm not
You said on a ball. Absolutely not. Not on a ball.
Yeah. Here's the North Pole, and there's the equator, and that's 90 degrees of travel, which is equivalent to 10,007 kilometers.
That's a flat plane.
Therefore,
that's a flat plane you've drawn an arc around. That's not on a ball. That's in a ball.
Level. There's the green line. That's sea level.
No, that's in a ball, not on a ball.
No,
you're confusing the two.
Hold on, Adam. So, hold on. Are you saying simply because he refers to 90 degrees to the radial value out at 90 degrees on the surface, that suddenly means it's a flat plane? No. I mean, this is obviously imaginary 90 degree in the middle of Earth. He's not actually saying he's measuring this 90. He doesn't need the flat plane for it. He's inferring it, calculating
it. He didn't travel 1 kilometer for 1 degree.
He didn't travel a single... He didn't travel anything. He's back calculating it in his maths, and he can.
Right there on the top of it, how many degrees have I moved for 1 kilometer of travel?
Yeah, 0.00899326161 degrees.
No, don't tell me how much you calculated. How did you measure that to get 1 degree?
He didn't.
No, it's not measured. I've derived it from previous known measurements.
Yeah. So it's no better than how did you how did you navigate a flat plane using flat plane measurements?
No, I've not anywhere near a flat plane. I want
You know what I mean? It's like you're McToon at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you wanna be McToon?
stop, everyone stop. This is gold. So what is it? What's his lie?
The lie is the 1 degree from the center of Earth when you're talking about moving along the surface of Earth.
Right.
No.
You're so close. So from the center, what's that called? What's that value?
What, the equatorial plane?
No. The value that it all starts with when he starts this derivation to calculate the degree and give you an answer, I might add, he back calculates it with one value. And you said what? It starts with the center of Earth? What's that value?
What, the angle?
No, not the angle, just the value to the center of Earth.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Radius.
yeah, we moved away from yeah, he changed it real quick. 1 degree of travel on the center of Earth?
Yeah, so he's got that value already, hasn't he?
So he's traveling 1 kilometer in the center of Earth.
No, he's measuring the calculable value of degrees off the back of his already in place radial value at 3959 miles or 6,371 kilometers. That's what he's starting with, isn't he?
Right, but that 1 kilometer of travel for 1 degree, right?
Yeah, but
You're doing that from the center of
still don't
Earth,
get it.
not on a ball, in a ball. That is a simple confusion. That's all that is.
Yeah, but how does he
No.
achieve? Let's just agree with him first. Yes, that is correct. How is that simple confusion achieved mathematically?
Because you're taking the arc angle of the protractor and assuming that's the surface that you're no longer standing upon.
No.
When you try to assert that you're moving 1 kilometer along it.
That's correct. Yes, that is
All right.
correct. In answer to your question, he has done that and has had to do that to answer your question. But he did answer you, but he had to do it starting with a specific value to make that back calculation or just calculation to give you the answer in an arc measurement off his sphere. And that was done with the radial value that he started with.
Yes, but he's still invoking a flat plane.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
With the 1 degree of, and then the 1 kilometer of travel.
No, watch on screen. I will show you my derivation, and there is no flat plane invoked. I take a surface
Those
of the
red
ball.
lines.
Fine, you can't
Them
interrupt
red
me.
lines.
They're just
What's the
axes.
red line?
They're just axes.
What are the red lines before we move forward?
Yeah. they're
Okay,
just
one's axis, what's the other?
That's one's an x-axis and one's a y-axis.
Right.
I could take them
So
off
the
if that
y-axis
helps.
is the
If that helps
equatorial
you.
plane and the x-axis is the North Pole.
Well, they're there to demonstrate the 90 degrees to be the markers on the surface, of the Earth. So they're only there for illustrative purposes. They're not there just so you can see the 90 look. They don't. It's not really the North Pole sticking out the north.
Right. So basically what it comes down to, if you're going to argue with people who are,
I'm trying to.
I guess, dishonest.
Let him get his
Then this
objection
is-
out, Adam, because this objection we lived for a year through the Isle of Man. So let him get his objection out. Feel free.
It's
Go
not
ahead.
funny though. It's doing me head in. I'm just feeding him bait, and you're biting every single bit.
Let
And
him.
all you-
Let him.
Okay. It's only got to destroy me quickly though. Come on, John.
Right. You've invoked a curve calculation that has nothing to do with the Earth.
Why are you saying
This is-
that?
This
See,
is
now I've got
insane.
to interrupt and I
Because
can rumpus you.
this is Adam's curve calculator.
Of
It's
the
not.
Earth.
The curve calculators.
Of the Earth of a
It's
known
not the
radius
curve.
value of 6,371 kilometers. It's
Right.
right.
That you established from a flat plane. Yes. Right.
No. He didn't establish it with anything. It's totally arbitrary. Didn't establish, didn't measure, didn't do anything. He just assumed it.
The 3959 wasn't established using.
No establishment. You seem to think that somehow we've got this measurement from somewhere. No, it's utterly arbitrary in his measurement, isn't it?
No,
Yes, it is.
It was taken using Polaris and then assumed in this.
No, not by Adam, and certainly not by Mick West. I asked him personally. No, he didn't. He just arbitrarily utilised a radial value of 3959. Nothing else was done.
I'm going to go get the real curve calculator. I'll be right back.
Fair enough. This was brilliant. I hope this would have been tomorrow's show, you know.
That, bro.
No, this is ace. Go on, AI. It's my bad.
Man, there's nothing I like better than a flat earther getting whooped with his tail between his legs and walking off like a loser. Yeah.
Sorry, we don't all have to suddenly become sadistic globe believers here. What's going on? Just because you've got what's going on.
Oh, sorry.
But now do you know
Too
that
soon?
slight adrenaline rush that Arwin gets when he does it?
Man, if I was a Glober, I'd have John on my show tomorrow. It'd be great. Get all them super chats rolling in.
I thought Adam did an exceptional job. And it's one of those where if left, it's been illustrated, but because it hasn't been brought forth by John as yet, as understood, no offence to John, he's got a point that this is going to need a flat plane. Well, we'll see how he gets on. I'm not going to say he's not going to get us there. He might. He's very tenacious.
Told it in 3 times.
Pardon?
I've told it in 3 times. This is good because
you want the audience to be screaming it at John, don't you? Because then they're getting it. And there's 123 people watching, which is the largest audience we've had in about 2 weeks. So I'm really elated that this is happening. As I said in the pre-show, I wanted this exact thing to be show 2000. This is what I wanted for show 2000, to drill this point home. Because if we're going to thrash out how you're going to need a flat Earth for that, we've got to go through circumstances that are, let's be honest, Adam, your prowess in this regard is way beyond your average baller, isn't it? You know, we're dealing with the cutting edge of ballers when you're getting involved with mathematics for the ball.
Yeah, because I derived this, so I do know it inside out. So it's going to. This is what I'm saying. Don't argue with me on this, John, because I will win. Because I know what the point you're arguing, and I'm not going there purposefully. Yeah. So as a baller, I'm keeping the argument exactly where I want it, which is in these slides. Yeah. In all these slides here, if we argue this, if we argue whether we've got flat planes here, I can argue against it, and I can't really lose because at worst, he's already asked me for a distance, and I've given him it exactly.
And that's the point. That's the point that we maybe for audience members they never understood when I explained to them that as soon as we started getting into arguing about the curve maths, it didn't matter that in this instance it's Adam's, and when we were doing it at the Isle of Man, it was Mick West's. It didn't make any difference. We could have said the same thing as John has said to Adam. These are just your maths. It's just your decision that Earth's going to be a sphere because you've arbitrarily taken an R value and made every derivation you need from there on in. Well, yeah, but we hadn't appreciated that when we were arguing with the Rumpus, arguing with Ruhif, that's starting to be rekindled, which is really cute. But we didn't know we'd lost. That was the problem. Why have we lost? Why do we keep losing it? We didn't know. We hadn't figured it out yet. But now Adam's obviously rekindling this himself, but as a baller, just for the kicks and giggles, because he knows how he can never lose. Right, Adam? Until I come along and go, where'd you get your R value? Then it's all over.
Well, hold on a sec, because the Earth curve calculator, this all started about surface level. And surface level still uses a horizontal plane in the Earth curve calculator. When you're talking about hidden heights.
That right. So that's no longer an Earth curve calculator. That's now a hidden height calculator. Very different, and you will invoke planes. That's correct.
Okay, so Earth curvature has nothing to do with the amount of hidden on an object.
you will use the curve calculation data you can derive from this and input it into your hidden data.
No, just put it onto him. You may. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me do this to John. Sorry, John. John, you may extrapolate out the hidden value. Feel free.
Right, with a surface level that is a horizontal plane, correct?
No, yes. Once you have taken the curvature value on your distance, you can then extrapolate that and use the difference between surface and eye levels to calculate the amount of drop. Yes, you can do that.
You can do that, flat earther. Can you do?
Question.
I don't know if he can do that. He might not be intelligent enough. He might not be smart enough. Hold on, let me just establish if he's clever enough. Can you do this, John?
Another question.
Can you do this, John? Are you smart enough to do this? You can extrapolate out the hidden value if you're smart enough.
You're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. It's not about the hidden value. It's about what surface level is in this calculation. And that's what this has been about the whole time. This has all been a big red herring.
Which calculation?
This has all been a big red herring because surface level is still a horizontal plane.
Every time Adam disagrees, I've got to stop this.
You're back in your face.
I'm sorry, guys. I've really got to interject. Because Adam's saying no when the answer is in fact yes. But because his character is what do you want your ball character to be called, Adam?
Oh, the Bally Meekin.
Lee Bally Meekin.
The Bally Meekin, yeah. Okay,
well, Bally Meekin is saying no when John says it's a red herring. It's the biggest red herring ever. So Adam saying no, I've got to then step in as a reasonable show host so that the audience doesn't get lost in Adam's character. Because you're objecting and rumpusing now, Adam, technically speaking.
No, I'm not actually. Still, I would let the moderator take it calm, and I'll bring John back because I've made this point. So he's wanting to reference the surface level. The only surface level on a curve calculator is a curved surface, which I'm welcoming him to jump on board.
A curve calculator.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not an Earth curve calculator.
Yes, Earth curve calculator.
No. Right. So, and this is the difference, and I conceded this when you said it. Come on, let me finish. I conceded it when you said this earlier. You said, I want a hidden height calculator. And I jumped in and made a big differentiation between that and an Earth curve calculator, the thing we've been discussing.
Right. Now, let's go to someone else's the practical uses of an Earth curve calculator and discovering the hidden heights of objects. Don't you think that would be more appropriate to reality?
Well, that's a separate question to when we were discussing whether the Earth curve calculator has a...
Right. You brought up a curve calculator and called it an Earth curve calculator. Good for you. Yeah, that's a neat trick.
No, that was you that was making that distinguishment. Whenever I said curve calculator, you corrected me with Earth curve. I as I've said, the two are synonymous to me. It's just that's just being picky for no reason. Earth curve calculator, curve calculator. We're talking about the same thing. The thing that's calculating how many angles you traverse per kilometre of circumferential distance. That's what the curve calculator does.
Okay, cool. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm fighting with my kids. My kids are fighting with me. The Earth curve calculator as it deals with hidden heights, because I feel like I wasn't pedantic enough with my description.
If we're going to talk about
I was crying. I'm crying back here. Please stop me, kid making raspberries. Please. It's making me piss my pants with laughter.
It's hard to say it's boring.
Yeah, he's not helping me at all.
Well,
could you imagine trying to debate with 5 kids attacking you at all times?
Well, no, John, to be honest, mate, with the waffle I'm giving, that's a fair rebuttal, I thought.
That's what I thought. I thought you were doing it at first, John, and I'm like, well, that's a fair response. Then I figured out it was your kid, and I was like, that timing is absolutely appropriate. It's just brilliant. Let's conclude The only way this works is to start with the R value. If you've got the R value in tow, no justification, no measurement, nothing. It's just there, hanging out like a fart in a jacuzzi. Then they can do everything that you need without any reference to a flat plane. Now, when you put it into any practical application, and that's what they're using it for in Mick West's calculation, they're claiming it's what you see. So obviously they're going to put that into practical application when they stack it up next to a photograph. But we didn't know how the trick, this part of the trick, which is made really, really obvious when Adam takes away all the flat planes and only begs the question of R to give you all calculations there from there forward, then it's really laid bare how that magic trick worked and why, more specifically, we lost every time we stepped into the arena and opened the book called Earth Curve Calculator. Because it's already there, assumed to be a sphere. And every time you argue about anything about how the calculations will work, you're arguing how it will work on the sphere you're already assuming at radius 3959 every time you enter into a debate about it. Now, Adam knows that so long as he's got that in tow and he starts with the sphere, he's just drawn a circle and wrote radius 3959 on it. So long as that's his starting point and everything comes from that, he doesn't ever need to reference anything other than the sphere he's already got. And as we well know, well, you can draw all sorts of tangents to it and flat planes from it if you want to derive eye level to surface level calculations with the ball dangling below radius 3959. As long as you never mention that you've automatically started this process by assuming Earth's a sphere, man, it's like 2015 all over. Then nobody's ever the wiser that they're always on to a loser.
But let me go back to the point that I was trying to make. I'm sorry, I had to step away. My kid, I got somebody at the door, and then my kids were yelling. It's not easy to do this, especially when you got somebody that knows their way around this argument, right? The minute you try to tie it to reality, right, you have to invoke surface level as a horizontal plane.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So this is, and this is where I was trying to lead you. We got on screen, all the stuff that you want to do, you can't do if you do it in my trigonometry. I've got you. All you've got to do to have me all ends up to make that statement is go, where did you get your R value from? Now you've got your flat plane, then I can't move forward because I can't have line 1. Assume Earth is a ball of radius 6371. Where did you get that from? Oh, flat plane elevation angles to Polaris. Shit. Now I can't assume Earth's a ball anymore.
Well, even with that's
where you put your flat plane in on this. Not move forward with the ball of assuming Earth is a ball. Second you've done that, I can have all I've got you. I can have all the fun. I can either lie or
okay, Adam. We got it. Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Right, but surface level, right? All he done was bring up a curve calculator. That's all you're doing is calculating a curve.
Yes.
Yep. The moment you tie it.
Yes.
Hold on. Right. The moment you try to tie it to reality in any way to give you a hidden height, to figure out drop values of the horizon, anything like that, you need surface level and eye level to be parallel horizontal planes.
Correct. However, the second you accept point 1 to move forward from, I don't anymore. Because you've already, that's where I get it from. Yeah, I get my R value from the from.
He's agreeing with you, John. Hold on, John.
What was the initial point of contention?
You went straight to curve calculators, mate, which required.
What was the initial point of contention? No, that was not the initial point of contention. What was the initial point of contention? Is surface level a horizontal plane or not?
That was what the original point of contention, because we're asking how to get around it when it's gradiated from surface level.
And I said, I've got a curve calculator, an Earth curve calculator that shows you it doesn't. And we went on for ages.
Right.
And I'm right. And the moment point 1.
And the moment you try to tie it to reality, what happens?
Yeah, but that was the trouble. You didn't. That was the whole point. You stayed in all the trigonometry of the having assumed Earth is a ball.
Yeah, you're
371,
talking about
and you tried to undo it
right.
and find your flat plane past the point you'd already assumed.
Boom! Both of you be quiet. So, Adam, given your last statement, would you not see the importance of immediately taking your opponent to the flat plane that's a prerequisite for anything practical? AKA, point out that you're going to need a flat Earth for that immediately, rather than working in a paradigm that seems to be more important to undo from the inside? Do you not see how this is you now arguing for the point we started with at this?
Totally. And then this is the example. But where do you throw that flat plane at them? Where is the nuance? Right. And all we did, yeah, there was one place that you could use that, and it wasn't in these later points with the trigonometry. I'm happy to you to throw a flat plane at me here because I'm already on a ball. So when the point of distinguishment is assume Earth is a ball, and that is what you challenge with the flat with the baller to say, right, well, where have you got before we assume? Let's not assume. Let's get your R value. Where have you got your R value from? You got that from a flat plane measurement, did you?
Right.
Right.
So therefore, you're suggesting that to tie this in a way that's not going to get anybody's back up, you tie it to the R value claim if you're going to assert that they're going to need a flat plane for it. In other words, any derivation of a sphere Earth claim, you'll need a flat Earth for the R value, would be a less objectionable way of phrasing it. I know it's not. These are the wrong words, but you know what I'm driving at.
It's the correct route of destruction.
Okay.
If you assume
But see,
a ball,
it's not just applicable to the R value.
Hold on. Say again, John.
It's not just applicable to the R value. Like when you're talking about latitude and their globiolus, where do you get latitude? How do you measure latitude? This is a measurement argument because it ties it to reality. And that's what I've been like. Adam's been fighting against it the whole time, and he's been allowed to red herring away from it. But I've been trying to tie it to reality, and he doesn't want to, and he's been kicking and screaming the whole time.
Yeah. So the reason for that is quite simple, isn't it? You, John, the flat earther, are trying to tie it to the flat plane for reference in reality. Simultaneously, your opponent, Adam, on the globe side, is trying to very much do the opposite. Take it away from reality with R.
Which is also, R is also a value that he has calculated from a flat plane.
Right, so these two are intrinsically linked.
Like,
so this is how the argument moves forward then, isn't it?
Well, but the thing is, like, the latitude and globiolus, even with gravity, when you're talking about changes in the vertical with respect to the horizontal, because it has to be. Newtonian mechanics assumes that Earth's an inertial plane.
Right. Rebuttal from the anti-flat earther, bendizontal. Therefore, the zontal in bendizontal comes from R. These two things are always going to tie back pretty quickly to one another. You're going to need a flat earth for the R value. Not that I'm suggesting that's how it should be always phrased, because it's not always appropriate. But in this particular example, the R value takes reality out of the equation because you've started with a point that you can back calculate anything and then cross-reference it with reality because of the beauty of 3959 miles as a radial value. It's come from flat Earth measurements, minimum elevation angle to Polaris. So it back calculates nicely into their equatorial outside edge of a sphere value. But that is the cornerstone, is that the right word? Cornerstone of this translation from flat to globe, the R value. Therefore, it needs refinement, but we're getting somewhere. Like I say, I hoped this would be show 2000 because we've got somewhere that's going to leave us not leaving bitter tastes in people's mouths when they're like, yeah, we haven't quite got the audience or the opponent there when we're declaring that they need a flat earth for it, correct though it may be. Well, for that, in this instance, it's specific. It's the R value. That's taking us away from reality to give us a starting point that back calculates into reality. But you'll need a flat earth for it.
Right. Can you show me any heliocentric claim that doesn't start with a flat plane measurement? That does not start with a flat plane measurement?
Only one. And that's the only one. And this is the example in this show. The only example I can give you has been argued by Adam by automatically assuming a radial value. That's the only exception to the rule. And it's simultaneously one of their biggest arrows in their quiver.
Right. But how does that tie to reality, a curve calculator?
Because the R value itself will back calculate into a radial value that you can cross-reference. And it's beautifully been engineered so that it matches with perspective, so that you can cross-reference it with a hijacking of something else that does take place in reality. That's how.
Right, but you're still going to need surface level to be a horizontal plane when you're trying to use that R value in the Earth curve mathematics to try to hide objects or talk about drop rates. You're still going to need the horizontal planes in that.
Yeah, and those horizontal planes will be with respect to an R value that they're described tangent to, or as a surface level parallel with an eye level. But they're all being described with respect to a sphere that has an R value derived from a flat plane also. So that should be the focus, should it not?
Well, what I'm saying, though, is that all of their claims, bar none, if they want to tie them to reality, require a flat plane.
I agree.
Yeah, let me just add to that statement. And all of their claims that are attempted to tie to reality with a sphere claim utilize an R value to do it, to take it away from reality with something back engineerable into reality. The R value is the transitional value that affords them that transition.
Right, but it's still, calculated from a flat plane.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where I lose. That's the only place I don't want to argue with you, Refracted, is where that R value is from. If I can get you to accept that R value, then all the other arguments about the geometry we're going to use, I can engage in, and I can, and I'm happy, and I think an audience is going to just be confused, bored by that level of mathematics, But the place I don't want you to take me is the bit of how do I construct reality, and allowing me that R value, I can move forward, because it's just like Isle of Man. As soon as you've accepted that,
you said
ball.
You said ball reality.
Yeah.
No. You said the only thing you have is a curve calculator. You don't have any tie to reality at that point.
I do have a tie to reality.
Assume R is the first thing I do, and if I can get you as my opponent to accept that first premise, it's very difficult, not for me to lose or win, but for the audience to hear the baller lose. Right.
There's somebody in Discord that's just aching to...
AI, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, this is tied to tangible, practical, experiential reality in a very crucial way. As soon as you go into a quote-unquote Earth curve calculator, the practical result of any Earth curve calculator is just to define what you should or should not see if there was a giant hump of Earth curve in the way, and then post hoc explain away any discrepancies from the original radius claim. But the entire claim is this: I can't see the bottom of something, right? Now that is what people experience. They go out into the world, sometimes they can't see the bottoms of things, right? And that's tangibly experienced in reality. So as long as they're experiencing that, and the globe provides an explanation for that, you could say you need a flat plane for your measurements in the first instance all day long, but unless you defeat the R value or the other claim that people could go out and see with their own eyes, no one's going to be convinced. So it's very effective in the way in which Adam is speaking, because we already know the Earth's a globe. How do we already know the Earth's a globe? Because I can't see the bottom of the boat. That's how.
Yeah, affirming the consequent. Perfect.
Right. That's hidden values. Great. The hidden value of the boat is surface level, appears to meet the sky, is hiding the bottom of the boat, right?
Yes.
and then your eye level is running parallel to that surface level.
That's correct.
Right, but I know that a horizontal plane can't obstruct physically an object that the physical object is upon, because the path of light doesn't have any obstruction between me and it. Therefore, if I'm an average
It's
person,
not a physical
I'm going to
obstruction.
tell you that
Therefore, it's
I
not a
can't.
physical obstruction.
Oh, listen, I can't see the bottom. I can't see the bottom. Therefore, there's an obstruction. Period. Full stop.
No, that's not the conclusion you draw. Therefore, it's not a physical obstruction.
No,
You
dude.
just
I'm
said
telling you the
you said
conclusion
that.
that humanity has
Okay,
gone
I'm
ad
just telling
infinitum into
you
the past and
that's
at present, right?
it's fallacious logic.
Yes.
I mean, well, that's great, but it convinces everybody. So
Yes, we're going through the affirming the consequent. It's fallacious logic. You're absolutely right, John. This is a weird position to be in because by doing what we're doing, we're drawing the conclusion that we need to point out the flat plane that's required in the first instance because it always is required. But how that technique is employed seems to have a big bearing on how much people like this argument. Now, I don't know why that is, and I don't care. I know the strength that's held within the absolute necessity for a flat plane to claim a globe, and in this instance, to derive a radial value. But when people take the shortcut, we're talking about people who ignore the step of a flat Earth that's needed first. How do they do that? Start with a radius value. That is the magic trick. We knew it 5 years ago. And it's the same magic trick, but we need to get from A, that's a flat Earth measurement, to D, that's a globe being claimed as our physical reality, and reinsert the B and C, like in Hollow Man, so that people can see the steps and how it makes them glaring, rather than just pointing out when they get to D how they needed a flat Earth in the first place, because people aren't seeing the B and C of it.
Well, see, I see the dishonesty here, and Adam showcased it. Putting a curve calculator and an Earth curve calculator are two different things. Just putting a curve calculator up and embarking on about the radius you already got is different than the Earth curve calculator.
No, it isn't. That's wrong. It's exactly the same. And when we were fighting against the Earth curve calculator, like you fought with Adam today, we would have the exact attitude towards the Earth curve calculator. What, Earth's just a sphere because you've got an Earth curve calculator that says it is. And that's your attitude. But you're saying, well, just because you've got a curve calculator doesn't make it an Earth curve calculator. Well, just because they've got an Earth curve calculator doesn't make it a world we stand on calculator. You know what I mean? Adams is no more or less valid than Mick West's or Metabunk's or anybody else's.
Right. How do you tie a curve calculator to reality?
By comparing it to reality after deriving the differential between surface level and eye level to infer that the flat Earth non-obstruction is the reason bottoms of boats are obscured. That's what AI just went through.
Right.
how do you tie it to reality? The whole point of the calculator is to tell you how
Hold on, I
much
think
is
you're
missing.
being answered,
right?
John. Hold on. Go ahead, AI.
Yeah, the whole point of the calculator is to give an explanation for why you can't see the bottom of a boat. I mean, that's the only reason it exists. Right? Am I wrong? Think about it.
Using surface level as a flat plane.
Correct.
No, because you've already assumed you're on a ball and Earth curve is going to obstruct your view. So you make a calculator based on that assumption. That's what's blocking your view. Your tacit agreement that the Earth is a ball and curvature will block your
Hold on,
view.
AI. Just finish that statement, Adam. Then AI.
It's the flat earthers' tacit agreement at that point that you are on a ball, and the purpose of the calculator is to calculate how much of Earth curve is blocking your view, because that is now the assumed cause for bottom-up obstruction.
Go ahead,
Then why is surface
hold on, John.
level a horizontal plane?
Just 1 second, John. Go ahead, AI. Then John.
So we run into a problem if that's the only definition of the function of this thing. We all know why. Is because it's always changing the apparent radius when you look at the maths in the actual structure of the way these calculators are done. So if you see the horizon here or there, right, like in the Black Swan, you'd have, a radius of, tens of thousands of miles, right? Versus the normal radius. So they then have to add this added feature, which retro engineers what you're seeing, which is something that I can see more the bottom of than I should. But listen to that statement. More the bottom of the thing than I should, quote unquote. Well, how do I know if I should or should not? Well, I know the answer. You have to have you have to have a fixed radial value. So the question then is, where did you get your preferential fixed radial value?
Precisely.
Okay? Where'd you get that?
Yep. Right. And that is a good question to ask. But what I'm pointing out is that anytime you want to try to turn any curve calculator to apply to reality and what you see, you need a flat plane of surface level or eye level to be horizontal, not bendizontal, horizontal.
That's correct.
So,
Okay, I'm going to do a few shout-outs.
right. So
Go ahead,
to go back to my point, when Adam brought out a curve calculator, it wasn't the Earth curve calculator.
Yeah, it was. It was Adam's Earth curve calculator.
No, because it never had anything to do with Earth.
No, none of them do.
None of them
Not
do.
Midwest, not mine, not anybody's.
That's correct, John.
There was nothing in that that could tie it to a claim of what you see.
Yes, there was a radius
nothing in
value.
any
Yes,
of
there
that.
was. You could do all sorts of clever extractions from that, so long as you got the radius value. All he needed was a circle with R written on it and a 3959 value and Earth written at the top of the book. That's all he needs.
Right. What could you do with it?
He did. He answered your question. You asked him for a distance. He gave it you, didn't he?
No, he had a distance. But how is he going to tie that to reality?
Listen, I just told you.
Let
You
me
asked
answer
me.
him. Let me just answer him. Let me just
how
answer
many
him.
degrees?
Let me just answer him. The reason he can retie that radial value based calculation, Adam's Earth curve calculation, back to reality is because of where they got 3959 from. Where did they get it from? This is your point. Reality. Off a flat plane.
Right. But, okay, we're going to talk about what? What is tying a curve calculator to reality besides the radius value you've taken off a flat plane?
Nothing. Nothing. That's all that ties it to reality.
So the minute you start talking about...
Hold on, AI. Hold on 1 second, AI. Go ahead, John.
Go ahead.
The moment you start talking about hidden heights, drop, even a tangent to the horizon, you will invoke Earth as a flat plane.
Correct.
And Adam Clifton screamed away from it the whole time.
No. The bit I wanted you to attack me on was the first point. You're exactly right. But all the latter waffle, all that main chat, that was never going to go anywhere. All you had to do was exactly what you said. What's the bit that's tying these assumptions to reality? What's the connector? And in this case, it's the assumption that the R value, a figure you measure off of a flat plane, yeah? Remember what you're trying to do, what they're doing here. They're taking flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris, using the rate of change of those angles based on distance to calculate the rate of change of slope of the horizontal baseline. See, mathematically, that's how ridiculous they're doing. They're calculating a rate of change of slope of an already known horizontal baseline. Yeah? You take those flat Earth elevation angles and you bastardize them to say, no, the flat baseline I took them off, the fundamental thing I've measured them from is actually curved. And I'm going to take these measurements to show how curved this straight line is. That's the okie doke, the switcheroo. The second that you accept that those flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris which are taken from a flat baseline, are used to calculate how bendy that baseline is to give you your R value.
Right. But it still goes back to any claim they want to make about reality requires Earth to be a horizontal plane.
I mean, listen, that's all well and good. Now explain to me how a horizontal plane that the object is on top of can possibly obstruct the bottom of the thing I can't see. Therefore, it must be curved.
Exactly.
So you're assuming a physical obstruction, and you want me to explain why this flat plane is physically obstructing the thing you assume is physically obstructed.
Yes, he does.
Well, good luck with
Yeah,
that.
I do, bro. But yeah, well, good luck with convincing people that go out and see that they can't see certain things, and they say, well, the explanation that a big hump of Earth curves in the way fits perfectly. Then you say, oh, you need a flat plane, blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. And they'll be like, well, I don't understand what you're saying, so I'm just going to accept this easy explanation. Problem solved.
Right. But that easy explanation is actually claiming a physical obstruction of the flat plane.
That's correct.
So, yeah, let's roll with that then.
They don't
it's
know
still
that.
a flat plane.
Listen, they
No.
don't know that.
Yes,
They
that's
don't
right.
know
Stop.
that.
Everyone stop. Yes, AI, that's absolutely spot on. No, they don't know that yet. But that's what we're here for. Okay, that's silenced everybody. Perfect. Unitox Femu, shout out to you, my friend. I haven't got your super chats to actually put up, but I'll put the chat up. Like, it's worth something when there's nothing on it, but there we go. Thank you very much for the super chat, it says. Let me just clear my throat. Without using any help from my final answer is B. What? Let's read that again. Without using any help, my final answer is B, open brackets. But I'll need a flat earth for that, close brackets. I'll go with B. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. Also, you've sent me a director's chair with some money. Thank you for the second super chat, Slasher. Unitox Femi. Same person. Also, Vlad on Flat Earth. Thank you very much for the super chat. He says, 0 degrees equals horizontal equals flat. Thank you, Nathan and panel, and cheers to everyone in the Discord and YouTube. Thank you for the super chat, Vlad on Flat Earth. Really appreciate the super chat.
I would like to say that seems to be the major criticism that I keep getting about me bringing this point up, is that nobody will understand it, or they don't know that.
Yeah.
That has been the major criticism over and over again, that what's the point in saying it? They won't know that.
Yeah, this is a frustration for me too, John. It's the biggest frustration, in fact. So your objection is that when I go to a glober who assumes that Earth's a sphere and point out to him that his assumption of Earth being a sphere needs a flat Earth, he's not going to understand that or appreciate it. He's still going to assume Earth's a sphere. That's not an objection. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Isn't that what we do? God, I wish this was
I don't get the point.
Show 2000. I hope tomorrow's show's not really, really boring. This has been a really good show.
I can fix that. I can fix that. You just got to do a show ex ante. So you just appeal to the future and just name this show 2000. Problem solved.
Just call this to show 2000 because it was what I had hoped for on the 2000th show. Us going through how you'll need a flat Earth for that.
Yeah, and I don't see a problem. I know you guys see. All we've done is demonstrate which citation of you'll need a flat Earth for that was required for any specific argument. I think John's one was a little unnecessarily complicated. I know he wanted to use it, but we didn't need to use the eye level, surface level argument of flat Earth there. There will be arguments where that is the more pertinent one. Like Brian's yesterday was the perfect one to use in that scenario. Today's was a very simple one. All we needed to do was identify that the switcheroo was the R value. That was their point of weakness. And then recognize that all we had to do was attack that point with how do you derive your R value from flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris.
With that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. And, of course, a massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!